Hey everybody, just gonna do a walkthrough here of the mystery trail that I put together for the Valentine's Day event. Just wanted to say thanks for everybody that joined in on the event. It was really fun putting it all together, and I really look forward to doing something again in the future. But the theme of the mystery trail kind of was there was a clue that was on a canvas painting in each of the locations, and each of the locations had a pin number to unlock the door to get to the next clue. So in this little poem that I put together for the first clue, the indicator of what you should be doing or where you should be going was the if you pay attention to the capitalized letters in the poem. So there are three words that are capitalized outside of the Happy Valentines, and it was the red, wood, and then peak, kind of telling you that you should be heading towards Redwood Peak. And the only numbers that were on here in this were 2022, and that's going to be the pin code for that first location. All right, so here we are at Redwood Peak, here in the Redwoods. So the spot to find here was, and in most of the spots is just going to be a little hut. I put mostly around each spot. I put around some trees and kind of has a central theme of how it's built. So here you try to get in the door. You need to type in 2022. It gets you inside, okay? And then looking around the room, there's some stuff laying around the room, and then the clue on the back of the wall is a haiku, and in the haiku it talks about the shop second floor. Our journey continues there. Lego waits for you. So going to the second floor of our shop, there is a dinosaur with the name of Lego. So let's go ahead and get on over there and see what that looks like. So we're back at the shop. Here we're on the first floor. So if we go to the second floor and we're looking for the Gigas. Okay, so if we go back to the Gigas here, there's a dino with the Lego name to it. And if you pay attention to the numbers on the box, it's 0929, which are going to be the pin for where we need to be. So it says Lego's waiting for you. So we really got to figure out where to go, but there's a sign here that says duck. So if you do indeed duck or crouch, it will teleport you down or to the next little area here, which is underneath that little wedge platform. We type in 0929 into our door. We come through. Here we have a little conference room. And our next clue. So we have Han S log day 0125. And it just talks about, or I guess I'll just go ahead and read it. I've finally been able to sneak the cargo of dinos through the pass. I think the cargo will be safe at my hideout by the hidden lake for now. So hidden lake capitalized, kind of signifying where you need to go. And again, those numbers up at the top, 0125 going to be our next clue. Right, in our ode to the most famous smuggler, Han Solo. So let's head to the hidden lake. Alright, so here we are at the hidden lake. So the last clue had talked about Han's smuggling dinos. So there's a little raptor pin here where the raptors are on aggressive, just stuck inside this pin, just roaming around. There are different cameras placed around that you could possibly see. Okay, so in the last clue, just giving a little tour here, a little garden, different stuff that I put together for this one. The last clue said the log day was 0125, so the code was 0125. Come in here, and we have different things set up for our smuggler. There was a couple hidden things here in this room. One of those was a dedicated storage interface that was hidden in the luggage, and then in the bottle, I'm trying to remember which one was this. Free element, yeah, there was 1,000 element hiding that one. So my original plan was there was a wall here, okay, and you couldn't see the clue, and then there was a bed, and This was unlocked, so you're supposed to be able to go into the camera and see the different cameras around the building, and then one of those cameras being the pin. But turns out you can't get inside of the surveillance without being a part of the tribe, even if it was unlocked, which was kind of a bummer. So I just rushed over and tore down, and there was a bed that was right there. I just tore down the bed and tore down the wall. And here we are. The next clue is a love note to Helena. Darling, I love you. Please come back to me. I keep finding your dossier all over, but not you. I left a note at your Argentavius dossier outpost. RGs were always your favorite. Love, John. Okay, so our big clue there is we need to go to where the Argentavius dossier is located, and the location is going to be the pin number. Okay, so ooh, lag spike there. Oh wait, I was inside the surveillance. I was kind of trippy. Yep, so we'll go to the Argentavis dossier and see what's next. Alright, so not too far away from the hidden lake, which is right over there, we have the Argentavis dossier at the top of one of the snow mountains. Okay, so down at that little spot, I put a little tent over the Argentavius dossier. Okay, and then here inside, the location is the pin, so the pin would have been 2153. So 2153 would have opened it, and we can come in and find the next pin. And there was another hidden item in here. So inside was a little note that if you found this note, you would get free 1,000 coins. So somebody did find it. I forget who it was off the top of my head. So the next clue says, hope you haven't lost faith, all capitalized, entering into this quest. So lost faith, keying you into the lost faith tunnels. And it says the pin is L plus O plus V plus E as the pin. So let's head on over to Lost Faith and see what we can find there. Before we get on to the Lost Faith, I just want to kind of bring attention to some of the things I found while I was making this. I haven't really had a lot of a chance to explore the island map. I've mostly been on other maps for most of the time I've been on Arkade, but one of those things is Shattered Spear Castle. If you haven't had a chance to see this castle, this is pretty dope. It has a huge castle, a courtyard, greenhouse, but a pretty sweet structure that was put together. Alright, off to Lost Faith, which is just right around the corner here. Okay, so part of the clue said, hope you haven't lost faith entering into. There were some commas there kind of like separating and making the sentence awkward. So I was just trying to make it to where you didn't go inside of the Lost Faith tunnels, but keying in on the entrance of the Lost Faith tunnels. Okay, so there's this little area in here, and then the pin was L plus O plus V plus E, and I just wanted you to assign numbers to each of those four letters, and L plus O plus V plus E is equal to 54. Big shout out to the Waning Monarchs and their attempts on getting into this door. Well, they eventually got it, but they were making the puzzle a little bit crazier than what I had intended. But the sum of those four letters was 54, so the code was 0054. And in our little restroom here, we have the next code. It says red, all capitalized, is the color of love, obviously, and OB being capitalized. And our clue there is that we need to go to the red ob, and we have some binary here for our next pin. So let's head over to the red ob and see what we got there. Alright, so here we are at the red ob with our crazy body here. That was there when I was putting together. It's still here. Super Stretch Armstrong. We have another little hut here with some fruit trees surrounding it. Okay, so if we looked at the pin, there were some binary numbers, and what it led to was four numbers: 4, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so those four binary numbers converting to 4, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and that was just something I don't know anything about binary or anything coding wise or whatever. I just looked up binary or numbers to binary, and whatever I saw first on Google was what I wrote down. So the pin was 4789, and that led us into here with our little shadow main laying on the porch or laying on the rug. And here it says, "You're so close, prepare for ascension." Okay, and our clue there is the word ascension, hopefully leading us towards the place where we can ascend on the island map, which is the tech cave. And it says the pin is the number of snails. So let's head over to the tech cave and see what we can find there. Alright, so here we are at the tech cave, and up on top of one of the hills is a little hut again, and as you can see, there's a bunch of snail statues crawling around here, this little hut, and there were 9 of them crawling around, and then there were 3 of them up on top, okay, for a total of 12 different snails. I thought about putting some like inside to make it like even more difficult to count them out, but I think at this point this is the last clue, so at this point I was like, okay, let's just they got this far, let's go ahead and make it to where they can get there pretty nicely. So there were 12 snails, so our code was 0012. That got us in here, and you could tell that I was kind of done with organizing these little huts, and I randomly just had one of these in my inventory, so this is the guy that was in our last little hut here. So the last step was to head back to the shop and take a picture with Valentine the mech. So let's just head to the shop, and from here we would run over. There's Valentine the mech just hanging out, and you just needed to take a picture with your teammate and send it in, and you were done. So that kind of wraps up the mystery trail. Again, it was a lot of fun putting it together. I really am looking forward to doing it again in the future, and talked with a couple of players around Arkade, and I think a collaborative event is kind of what I'm leaning towards next. It was fun putting it together, but my imagination can only go so far. This is kind of the extent of it. So I'm really looking forward to working with some other players around Arkade and putting something together for the community. It was a lot of fun. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in and checking out the Mystery Trail. I'll see you around.